Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the Trimless FC YouTube channel. It's your boy KLS, and I'm here to talk ahead of the Manchester derby. And man, we're not going to lie. Look, we talk about rivalries. We talk about the Manchester derby. It's not what it used to be. It's not as brutal as it used to be. We had a conversation of how the Newcastle-Sunderland derby is a proper derby. You get Millwall and West Ham, proper rivalry. Celtic Rangers, proper rivalry. Nottingham Forest, Derby County, proper rivalry. And we talk about Manchester derby ain't really a derby no more. But boys, give an absolute fuck. Tomorrow we go to war. So I say bring it on. Bring it on. It's our time to make Manchester red again. Because if you remember, it was only early in the season, Manchester became blue. We can change that instantly. Man, look, I know you've read the title. I think should start, and it's Carricks' first game and everything else. And people might say, but KLS, man, you've been so negative since Amram's left. What positives can you possibly take out of this? Or what, you know, so we're going to talk about it right now. Look, we read the title and we're not going to dick about. I think Maguire starts. As mental as it sounds, and I can do the math, realistically, when he's come on this season, he's not been that bad. You might bring up the Brentford game, but he's not the one putting himself middle centre half. And at a four at the back system, I genuinely, and remember, people might say, listen to my man. I'm eating my tea as well, by the way. Listen to my man. Big up AFC 87. Thank you very much for popping in. Man, they might say, but why would you start Harry Maguire? Why is Harry Maguire the mysterious player you want to start using now? Why is Harry Maguire this sort? I think, I mean, when you look at context and what we're actually coming up against, I think you've got to start Dorgu left back. Because whether it's Cherky or Semenyo on that right-hand side, Luke Shaw will not keep up. You've got Semenyo with pace, which we've already seen in the Bournemouth game. Semenyo's too quick for him, and it's not like, God, that's a close one. It's not. He's miles quicker. So that's to consider. Whether it's Ray and Cherky, I don't think Luke Shaw's young enough to have that ability and agility in him that when Ryan Cherky wants to do a little 1-2 under the leg, up Bob's your uncle, Luke Shaw ain't keeping up. So then that could be a problem. So that's why I think Dorgu's got to start left back. Doku and Semenyo will give fullbacks problems. I don't know if Doku's out still. I did have a look at injuries. I didn't see him, but I don't know. I don't really keep up with Man City. But either way, whether you take Doku out and you say Foden, whether you take Doku out and you say Cherky, wherever, do you know what I mean? No matter which name you put in there, there are going to be issues. I'm actually just going to... Can I do this? Oh, no, I can't. But yeah, look. I think Dorg has got to start left back, but damn right, Carrick, man, you've got to tell him. Because against the Brighton game, as much as, and again, RB joined up, I'm pretty sure Funds and Omar would agree that Dorgu had a pretty decent game, but the space he was leaving behind him was treacherous. It was evil. So, I think if you're going to tell Dorgu stay left back, then you need to tell him to stay back, which kind of sucks. For a player like Dorgu that can run up and down. But then on that note, that's also why I'd bring Maguire in the middle. And Manchester United fans might be listening to me now or might listen later on and say, but KLS, man, what are you talking about? Amram's got to your head. The loss of Amram, it's made him senile. He wants Maguire back in the mix. I'll tell you why. I want you to imagine Erling Haaland against Martinez. I mean, there's no competition, right? Erling Haaland, big fucking, everyone calls the robot, good old robot, against a guy that's what, 5'7". Like, do you know what I mean? But then you can't chuck a youngster on against Haaland because that's fish bait. You can't put a Euro against a Haaland. You can't. And remember, when Kane comes on, when Maguire comes on, It's not like he's looking terrible. He's just slow, that's all. But in this 3 at the back, he won't have to push forward. He won't have that gap no more. And I know Mandem will go straight to the Brentford game and say, but against Brentford, he was the last man and got caught out. We've got more stability. We don't. But at a 4 at the back, we should have more stability. And as Carrick as manager, look, I like Carrick more than Darren Fletcher. And that's a guarantee. I 100 million % think Carrick will go further with United than Darren Fletcher ever would. I don't think Fletcher was ever the man for it. I don't think Fletcher was the answer. And I don't think Fletcher's got that fucking like Fernandez, like fucking like I feel like obviously I don't know if people watch the EFL. Obviously, I've kind of got to watch Derby sometimes in important games. I'm not religiously watch them, but obviously sometimes I still have to support them because it's my hometown. Obviously, I'm watching him when he was Middlesbrough manager, and he's proper giving it. So I do. I like Carrick a lot more than Darren Fletcher, 1,000,000 trillion %. But I strongly believe I do think we have to start Maguire, because you look at our defenders as a squad. Who's the only, what word I'm looking for? What Man United defender has that muscle to, like, Aiden Heaven? You could argue he's strong but inexperienced for a player like Haaland. You know, same with Yoro maybe. Obviously, De Ligt's still out, and again, it just seems unreal to put a 5'7" dude in defense. I like Martinez, and I think his quality, but there's only one Haaland. There's only one Haaland. And I don't think, no matter how good he might be against like a Brighton wing, how good he might be against a West Ham wing and attack, no matter how he might be against, you know, any striker you can name, like you could say, like Isaac last season, he was the second highest top goal scorer, but he was still not even near that conversation. Like, this is Haaland. Like, this is one of the best players in the world. I don't think we can put a 7'5". I honestly believe Harry Maguire starts, and I want that to happen, because again, I'll repeat myself one last time. You're going to bring up the Brentford game, but Maguire can't be the last man. But it's a 4 at the back this time. There's no option to be last man. That ruled out. And I'll tell you what as well. Just because I'm very strong on now that even when Amranatos was saying, the manager's got to go, and I was trying to argue back and say, but surely there's accountability for the players as well. Like, you're seeing Diego Dalot being horrible, and you see Luke Shaw not really dragging his weight of the club. Like, and now, obviously, Amarim's gone. We've played Burnley and we've played Brighton, and I think it's shown that the players talk about accountability. I think they are to blame 100%. So, on that context, if we start Maguire tomorrow at a 4 at the back and Maguire is still the last man, then I think that proves my point, because in a 4 at the back, he shouldn't be a last man. He should have a second defender or a left back or a right back he can work with and cooperate with to man that back line. I really do think Maguire starts tomorrow, and I really want him to start, just because when he's come on, he's not looked bad. He's come on against Liverpool, did decent. Even when he came on against Brighton, he's got that fight. Like, see about scrapping my man at the corner flag. We need that tomorrow, bro, because tomorrow's not a game. Tomorrow's war. Tomorrow's war to make Manchester blue again. You got to understand. This isn't playing Everton. This isn't even playing Leeds. This ain't West Ham, Arsenal. This ain't Liverpool. This ain't even damn Chelsea, which is fuck Garnacho, by the way. But it's not even Chelsea. This is war. This is absolute war. So I genuinely believe start Aaron Maguire tomorrow. I think he's the only dude when it comes to strength. And, I mean, you could argue Amarim played Luke Shaw for, obviously, because he's a veteran. There's an argument for Maguire too. How many games has Martinez had against Haaland? How many Aiden Heaven had against Haaland? How many games has Yoro had against Haaland? Look how many's Maguire had. And that's the real difference. We need someone that knows how to track him. and I think Maguire's that guy. If we're talking pace, no. But if we're talking someone that might know just 2 steps ahead, I'd rather take that chance than put a 5'7" guy in. Because remember, people, it's not just height. It's not just height. You see him running, he's like a fucking bulldozer. I think that's got to start. Carricks' first game, look, Mandem, I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't know what. I'm going to take a bite out of my burger. Oh, it's not really a burger. I made a chip and cheese cob or a butty or a bread cake, wherever you're from. I'm just going to take a bite. That shit's good. But on that note of, hold on, a bit dry. But on that note, we do actually have some news, breaking news. So Jeff Wilcox has given Carrick permission to buy in the summer, and which is great news. Until you hear the rest. He's given permission to buy a left winger. It almost makes you laugh. We've been screaming for a centre mid all year. We've then had manager loss, interim in, interim out, interim in. Interim's been granted transfers. And you're given permission to sign a left winger. Am I missing something here? Our left side's not an issue when we've got Dorgu and Cunha. Yes, Cunha's not performed this season. Yes, I don't think Dorgu's the main guy at the moment. But for the time being, and remember, people, as well as you want to congratulate Sesko's getting these goals in now, who's setting them up? These who's delivering these balls to him? It's Dorgu. So you've got to accept it, and you've got to not accept it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to look forward for it. So no, I don't think Dorgu and Cunha are dead on left wingers, and I want to stick with them for the rest of the time period. Fuck no, but for now they will do. Now the midfield, it will not do. When you've got Casemiro, who's declined at the start of the season, I was saying he is one of the most overachievers this season. For what his level has been in the Premier League, I think he's been phenomenal. And then I think about the time, I want to say maybe against Everton, since that game, he's been off. So he's packing up. Then you've got Ugarte. And then you've got Mainu, who's actually wasted at DM because he's better moving forward than he is tracking back. So he's wasted. And then he can't free roam. Obviously, Bruno in a 6. Obviously, that's long gone. I don't think that'll be happening again. Obviously, you can't start any Fletchers. So when you compare the midfield to the left wing, considered I've just named about 5 players there and only 2 left wingers. The left wingers are more reliable. The 2 left wingers are more sustainable. Man, it's a mindfuck. It's an absolute mindfuck. It's like it, and again, it doesn't make you want to laugh because you look at Jeff Wilcox and you listen to what he's saying and you almost think, is this self-sabotage? What's going on? What actually is happening? I mean, there's transfer chaos all the time now. We've got rid of Amron. It's transfer. But why can't you give him this when... and then it would have saved all this problem. It would have saved it all. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Do they want this team to work? Because people will say, Glazers in the arse, Wilcox, Barada, Radcliffe. They don't give a shit about this club. They've got to, because we make them dough. So they kind of have to. I mean, talk about making money. You know what they've told Carrick? He's got to make Champions League. You've sacked the best hope of Champions League in Amorim. Now, I'm not saying Amorim is the guy that's going to get us Champions League and go and win it for us or get us in a good, I don't know, semi-final. No. But for definitely, we're on track. It wasn't even that far off top 4. So then you sack him and you bring an interim in with no experience managing a club like Manchester United and really had a decent 6 months at Middlesbrough. And you're telling him to get Champions League. Like, it's bonkers. It's absolutely phenomenal. Man, we're going to try and predict tomorrow's team sheet. Now, I think out of everything, I'm trying to be positive and try and look at the brighter side and look at what we could achieve and everything else. I'm kind of, for once, whether it's, I'm trying to think of it in my head and I'm seeing the lot right back, and maybe that's putting me off thinking about players in general. But I genuinely believe the formation's now an issue. I mean, them 3 cams at the top, because if you didn't know, we play a 4-2-3-1. So we'll have 3 cams, which is usually Fernandez. Well, since Burnley and Brighton, it's been Fernandez, I want to say Mount, and Cunha. So then, with width, we're shit. So I actually believe I'd like him to go to a 4-3-3. Give us wingers, man. Give us some width. You've seen what giving us width can do. We've seen what it does, especially with a player like Cunha in the box. And it's not like you can argue about, yeah, but Cunha's only just started doing it. We've only just started going that wide. We look way more comfortable on the wide. We don't have Dalot and Luke Shaw on the wide. So now we've got actual players that are going forward and getting in decent positions, you know, on the wings, getting the ball in. You can't even argue. Sesko's 3 out of 2 games at the moment. So you've got you've got to embrace it. I think go 4-3-3. Well, I genuinely do 4-3-3. I'd go Lamens in net, and he's pissing me off. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Maybe because he's new and he maybe is the first proper... He's the first keeper that's not proper shit. Like, there's shit, but then proper shit. Maybe that's the case, but he's pissing me off because I'm watching him. I'm thinking, I'm so glad we bought him. He is quality. And then some of these goals I'm letting in, I'm thinking, am I being harsh in saying it's not his fault? But then I'm rewatching him and going, hold on a minute, but it is his fault. He could have saved that. So he's starting to do man nothing. But I'd go him in there, obviously, because no one would start being there. I'm Googling, do we get Mazraoui back early? Oh, no, because... AFCON. Let me check the AFCON. So, yeah, we won't even get Mazraoui back till fucking, February? Because the AFCON finals on the 18th, and he's actually in the final. Has my man been starting? I do want to know, because I do worry some of these players like Mbumo, Diallo, Mazraoui, they're going to come back and not be the same, but only because I've seen it happen before. Like, can you remember when, what's his name? He went away for time and came back and just did bits. No, it's not coming to me, but I remember it for sure. Oh, hold on a mo. He wasn't even on the bench. Oh, he was left back. It was left back. So we don't even get him back. So we're gonna have to play Dalot right back. I'd say Heaven and Maguire. And I'd swap I could see an argument for swapping Heaven for Martinez, playing him left centre back, just for stability. And he can run forward and produce balls like for Sesko, like the one against Branagh. That was solid. I think Dorgu left back. It must be Dorgu left back. I know it kind of eliminates what I've just said about, but getting into game crossing situations, and you look at Sesko now, and he's actually been getting them in through croissants, through crossings. But again, like I said at the start, like I said to AFC, we're not coming up against Iliman Ndiaye. We're coming up against Semenyo, Haaland, Cherky, Foden, Doku. So we need agility on that right hand side, left side. CDMs, I think it's got to be Mainu. Actually, Carricks smart. I think he'd play Cassie and Ugarte. Obviously, that's so sad to say, but I think play them as two DMs. I think Mainu in the middle, Cunha left cam, Fernandez right cam. Sesko up top. I do. I forgot to do score predictions on the Project Prem, but I'm saying 2-1 United. Man, I mentioned your boy KLS. I've been going over just over 20 minutes, but that's what I think I should have. I think Maguire's got to start for sure. Not got to start, but I think our best shot is Maguire. We're going in for a left winger for fuck knows what reason and everything else. But man, I might be here tomorrow, 12:30, 12:15. The stream will start. I might be here, I might be not. I might be asleep and I might be not. I'm going to try not to be, because obviously it's the derby and stuff. But Mandem's busy. So, look, Mandem, look. I'm not going to waste no more of your time. It's been your boy, KLS. I'll see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll see you at the game preview, the post-match review after the game for sure. But Mandem, until then, have a blessed week.